probably invited to the Washington. Okay, I have no clue why.
Okay, do we have Tom Cull in the audience? Tom, okay. We're going to continue with our open mic readers. So our next reader is a academic, poet, social organizer, mentor to many, and what? Anything else I can say about you? Hey, okay, Tom Cull.
Hi, everyone. I did bring them. So, my thoughts this week are at the Paris Climate Change Conference, where the fate of the human race hangs in the balance. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a little lacking in hope. So instead of a poem, I'm going to read you 13 survival tips for surviving the apocalypse. Preparing for the apocalypse, 13 survival tips. Tip number 1, no one will survive the apocalypse. Tip 2, in addition to anything starring Will Smith, consult the following movies: Deep Impact, Melancholia, Armageddon, Waterworld, WALL-E, 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, Eat, Pray, Love. Or as I like to say it, Eat, Pray, Love. Tip 3, add the following titles to your self-help library: anything by Ann Coulter, Blood Meridian, Roughing It in the Bush, Eunoia. If pressed for time, skip chapters A, E, I, and O. Tip number 4, replace GPS with GSP. That's a joke for all of you Ultimate Fighter fans out there. Tip 5, audition for the following reality television shows: Survivor, The Biggest Loser, Hell's Kitchen, Naked and Afraid, Polyamory, Married and Dating, The Real World, Deadliest Catch, Full House. Tip 6, compress your vocabulary. Remove such words as ambivalent, eco-poetics, neoliberal, and crep. Tip 6. Tip 6A1. Literalize your metaphors. Open a can of worms. If you like it, put a ring on it. Eat slow food. Issue a trigger warning. Make a killing. Beg to differ. Cross that bridge, etc. Tip 6. 1B. Diction. Prepare for shifts in word definitions. Glacial, for example, will mean very fast. Kudu, Google, Hulu, and Snapchat will become onomatopoeia. Tip 7. Know when to follow, know when to retweet. Retweet. Tip 8. Trade in Apple, BlackBerry, Tinder, and Kindle for an Apple, a BlackBerry, Tinder, and Kindle. Tip 9. Loot anthropology museums for supplies. Didactic panels may also prove helpful. Tip 10. Refrain from correcting improper usage of personal pronouns I and me. Tip 11. Stay limber. Work on your cardio. When shit gets real, remember tips number 1 and or Will Smith in Bad Boys 2. Tip 12. Get comfortable with killing. Start small. A worm, maybe a mayfly, then move up to vertebrates. Don't always choose ugly things. You'll get the hang of it. Tip 13. Make a list dividing the people you know into columns A and B. When the time comes, you'll know what it's for. The second poem I'm going to read is called On the Shooting That poem was really going for jokes, but so I'll I'll go for a poem that's not going for jokes. This is for Christine Thorpe because it's a poem that I wrote as a project. She and I sat down and we talked about two bears, and I've read this before, but I've changed the ending, so I'm going to try it out again with you tonight. We were telling stories about two instances of bears that had come into urban spaces, and there was one story where it was a very happy ending for the bear, and there was another story where it was a very unhappy ending for the bear. And I got the unhappy ending, and Christine got the happy ending. And so I will read you this story about an actual ursine incursion, as it's called, that happened this spring in Newmarket. On the shooting of a black bear. The black bear's body bag was black with white nylon handles. 5 officers hauled him from the backyard of a Newmarket home on London Road, where moments before he'd been shot by York Regional SWAT. The gun, an M4 carbon assault rifle, the rounds, NATO standard 5.56 millimeters, designed to pierce the target, mushroom, and tear up soft flesh. The Ministry of Natural Resources arrived minutes too late. They came with tranquilizer guns, darts, and a mobile cage. They came with phrases like ursine incursions and chemical immobilization. The supervisor spoke to the media but was heckled by a growing crowd. "Good job, y'all feel proud now?" one man yelled. "Did you stop at Tim's?" asked another. A third suggested the police head down to Roncesvalles and plug that peacock on the lamb from the Hyde Park Zoo. The bear had been spotted days earlier over in East Gwillimbury. En route to London Road, he'd wandered a suburban maze. Bristol Road, Salisbury Line, Manchester Drive, Dover Crescent, cul-de-sac loops and curvilinear streets, endless double car garages, blue bins, basketball hoops, hatchbacks, crossovers, sports luxury sedans, crisply cut flower beds, green grass running sprinklers. He climbed his last tree, an ash, on Tuesday. Corralled by the police who hoped to keep him there until the M&R showed up, he remained there for a while but climbed down and was shot 4 times. The black bear's body bag was black with white nylon handles. The officers lifted him into the back of the truck. The neighbors jeered and the internet lit up. At M&R headquarters, he was examined, weighed, and dissected, his teeth and claws measured, the contents of his stomach itemized, grass and other vegetarian, buds, berries, roots, bulbs, 4 Girl Scout sashes, a brownie badge, a pocket knife, 13 pinwheel sandwiches, 2 church ladies, a floppy red hat, a dream catcher, 4 goldfish, a shih tzu named Lion, and a newborn baby named Bryson. Swallowed whole just hours before, the missing baby was found in the bear's gut, curled up, sucking on his thumb as if asleep, which, as it turned out, he was. On a hunch, the lab assistant smacked his bottom and he awoke. His parents were greatly relieved. The boy's story went viral. There was a parade. He was nicknamed Cub, but the name didn't stick. By the time he was in preschool, everyone had forgotten. Even his parents started to lose track of the story, stopped recounting it to friends, to the boy, to each other. But the boy did remember every detail. The morning breeze through the window, faint wind chimes, a hurdy-gurdy bird, the shifting shadows of leaves on the nursery walls, the weight of a cool black nozzle against his belly, the warm conveyor belt of a tongue, the velvet esophagus suction to the warmth below, drifting off inside the black womb, nothing feeling stranger than what had come before. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Okay, Tom, come on, admit you're a genius at weaving together significant, important topics with humor and lots of words and details. Thank you, Tom. And I have to ask ask you something. I heard you read the bear poem this summer, but you didn't have that last part. Is that added?
I wrote a different ending, so I was trying out the new ending tonight.
I like the ending about what happened to the little, the cub, little cub. Thank you.